All right, welcome to Fire Service Warrior video blog, episode number 13. Last week we talked about meditation and the importance of finding that calm, serene place in your own psyche where you've quieted your mind so that you can now begin to think about deeper things, so that you can begin to develop a deeper awareness of yourself and an understanding of how to thrive on the fire ground. Today we're going to talk a little bit about visualization. What visualization does for us is once we're in that meditative state where we are relaxed, we are calm, our psyche is open to learning new things, we can use the act of visualization, of mental rehearsal, to begin to program our brains, our psyches, our minds to respond in a certain way on the fire ground. The reality is we find ourselves in some incredibly challenging circumstances. Those things cause our psyche to react. It causes our sympathetic nervous system to engage. Our fight or flight mindset becomes powerful. And that can actually have quite a few downward spiraling concerns. I've written about it in my book, I've written articles about it, I talk about it in lectures. We have to gain control of that sympathetic nervous system reaction. One of the ways that we can do that is by working ahead of time to visualize how we will engage, how we will act, how we will perform in those stressful circumstances. So today what I'm going to do is go through a little bit of a guided visualization of actions to take if you find yourself in a Mayday scenario. Okay? What I want you to do, watch this entire video. Then, go back, come back to this point, and pause it. Go ahead and get yourself into your meditative state. Get yourself relaxed, get yourself calmed down. And when you've gotten there, unpause the video and go through the process that I described again. Do it once a week. Do it once a day. Do it with different scenarios in mind. The scenario that we're going to paint is that you are assigned to the nozzle position of the first in attack line. You've advanced to the second floor of a working structure fire in a 2-story ordinary constructed building. You're crawling down the hallway to the rear 2 bedrooms that are involved in fire. Your partner, who is your officer and also your backup firefighter, is at the top of the stairs managing hose and making sure that you can get your advance. The hallway that you're crawling down is about 20 feet long. At the far end of the hallway are 2 bedrooms. Both are heavily involved in fire. Heat conditions are high. You are crawling. You are to the floor. Visibility is near zero. You are able to see a little bit of glow far ahead. You are able to see a little bit of orange at the ceiling level towards the end of the hallway. As you're crawling down the hall, you open the nozzle and cool the gases overhead, knocking back the thermal balance a little bit, not creating too much steam, flowing just enough water to ensure that the gases overhead are cooled and that flashover is going to be delayed as you advance to the seat of the fire. You come upon a moment where the hose line holds up as you pull. You turn to yell back to your partner that you need 5 more feet of line. At that moment, the ceiling collapses. You find yourself covered in drywall and structural members. Your very first action is to take a deep breath. You breathe in deeply, pause for a moment, and exhale. You reach with your right hand to your pass device. You press the button to activate your pass device. As your pass sounds, you slowly breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. You pause for a count of 4. You exhale for a count of 4. And you reset your pass device. When your pass secures, you reach with your right hand to your microphone. You key up your portable radio. You give your mayday, and you give your lunar report. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Second floor, engine 1, firefighter Brennan. I've been caught in a collapse. I need to be unburied. You release the button of the microphone and wait for command to acknowledge your mayday. When you hear the command is acknowledge your mayday, you now look down and see if you can view the remote gauge on your SCBA. You ensure your air supply. You check your heads-up display if you have one and ensure that that's functioning. You slow your breathing. You reactivate your pass device. You now begin assessing how to get yourself out from under the material. Count your breaths as you do this. You will use your forearms and your legs and attempt to make a bridge to get yourself up off the ground and to heave the collapsed material up. If you can, this material is lightweight or structural members that you can move. Remain calm. Remain clear-headed. What are the fire conditions? What are the heat conditions? How is the visibility changed? What other sounds do you hear around you? Can you hear your partner calling for you? Can you hear the sound of a RIT team being activated? Can you hear the sound of the RIT officer or the incident commander on your radio? These are all things that tell you help is on the way, that you need to remain calm, that you need to conserve your air, that you need to begin working on fixing the problem that you're in. At this point, your pass device has been alarming for a few seconds. Reset it. Allow that sound to clear. Allow your brain to focus on something other than the noise of the pass device. And then take one good cycle of breathing. Breathe in for a 4 count. Pause for a 4 count. Exhale for a 4 count. Pause for a 4 count. Reactivate your pass device. Allow that pass device to activate as you breathe through another cycle. It's about 16 seconds. Toggle the pass device off again. This is doing 2 things. It is allowing you to focus on something other than your mind's natural desire to be afraid. It is also helping companies find you by giving them the on-off sound of your pass device to vector into. Reach to your radio again. Notify command of your air. Notify command that you are activating and deactivating your pass device. This will help the RIT team know that you are alive, well, and in a tenable position. While you're doing these things, continue to see about getting yourself out from under the debris pile. How can you do this? Can you bridge yourself up? Can you get a piece of material and begin moving it away from your body? If you can't do any of those things, simply getting your forearms under your body so that you can get enough space that you can continue to slowly breathe, that you are not completely pinned to the floor, will allow you to conserve energy, remain calm, and conserve your air. Continue breathing. Slow, deep breathing. If you can get free of the material, get on top of the pile and begin working your way back out. If you can't, if you are pinned in such a way where you cannot get free, attempt to maintain some separation from the ground so that you can breathe more comfortably, so that your diaphragm is not compressed. And slowly focus on your breathing and activating and resetting your PASS device every other cycle of breathing. Now, as part of your visualization, I want you to picture in your mind the rapid intervention team getting to you. They've gotten to you. The material is being pulled from on top of you. You can hear the voices of the RIT team muffled through their masks. You can hear the sound of a backup line that's been brought in to knock down the fire overhead. The air around you gets cooler. You begin to feel that it's easier to breathe as the material is removed from your body. You will survive. You will continue to fight. You will overcome this moment. You're freed from the material. The rapid intervention team grabs you and drags you out of the building to a waiting medical unit. You're reunited with your partner, who was not caught in the collapse because of the stairwell protecting his or her position. You are able to acknowledge the fact that because of your training, because of your focus, because of your desire to thrive and to survive the challenges of the fire ground, because of the programming that you did to prepare yourself, that you remained calm under pressure, that you were not defeated in a very stressful moment, that you overcame, that you persevered. All right, that's just one visualization that you can do. I'll be honest, I go through a small version of that every single morning when I come on shift and check out my SCBA. I go through that process of, in my mind, calling a mayday, giving my lunar report, and thinking about what I will do in different mayday scenarios. Try using that. Try practicing with that. Try using that as a daily training tool. And try using that visualization, and go from there and come up with your own. That's this week's video. I hope that it gave you some food for thought. I hope that you'll go back and watch this one a few times when you're using that meditative state, and use it to try and program some positive actions to give you some ways of thriving under difficult circumstances. We're going to continue to talk about this idea of the mental awareness, the spiritual pieces of firefighting, and finding ourselves in our vocation as we go forward. So until next week, have a great week. Keep reading, keep studying. Have a great week. Cheers.